Good morning to all. This is Sujata, Assistant Professor of Zoology from Government College Chichoroli. Today I am going to discuss about detailed idea of Scypha or Cycon, which is a representative of phylum Porifera. So before I discuss with the detailed idea of this animal, let's talk about what are the characteristic features of phylum Porifera. If I say about creatures of this phylum, these are strange, apparently lifeless, and plant like forms, which are commonly known as sponges. These are mainly aquatic forms, which are mostly marine waters, and some freshwater forms are also there. Very common example, Spongilla and Euspongia are freshwater sponges. These are sedentary, means they are fixed and cannot move from one place to another. They bear pores or dermal ostia all over the body, and due to the presence of ostia or pores, the phylum is named as Porifera. Now, they have very simple organization of the body. Their body is just a loose mass of cells resulting in cellular level of organization. There are no tissues, no organs or organ systems seen in these animals. Then they are diploblastic, means they develop from two germ layers only. Hence they are called as diploblastic animals. Next feature, if I say regarding symmetry, most sponges are asymmetrical, but some of them may have radial or vase-like symmetry. They have radial symmetry with vase-like body, and that is another feature. As they are fixed or sedentary, so they are dependent upon circulation of water current in their bodies, and for that they have evolved a canal system which is made up of number of canals, that is incurrent canals, radial canals, excurrent canals, which are communicating with spongocoel and open to outside through osculum. This elaborated canal system enable them to circulate water current in their body, as their life, their entire physiology is dependent upon circulation of water current. So presence of canal system is somewhat a peculiar, a unique feature of phylum Porifera. Now they also have special cells which line their spongocoel or radial canals. These special flagellated cells are choanocytes or collar cells. Due to collar cells which bear flagella over them, water current circulates in the body of sponges, and that is why presence of choanocytes for circulation of water current is another interesting feature of phylum Porifera. If we move further, then sponges have a cavity in the body, and this cavity in the body we call it spongocoel. Already I told you spongocoel opens to outside by an opening called osculum. So they enclose spongocoel with osculum at the top. Osculum help in the exit of water current. Because they are fixed, so they need to be protected, and for protection they have an endoskeleton of spicules or spongin fibers. Spicules are needle-like, spear-like structures which are either made up of calcium carbonate or silica, and that is why they are said to be calcareous or siliceous spicules. They may have spongin fibers. Spongin fibers are proteinaceous in nature, and sometimes they may have both spicules and spongin fibers. These two components provide endoskeleton and hence prevent mechanical injury and provide support and protection to sponge body. Furthermore, sponges are filter feeders. They have spongocoel in their body. There is no true alimentary canal, and they takes in food through the water current. Since they filter the water current to obtain their food particles, that is why we call them filter feeders. And since their entire body is filled with water, so they have no option just to carry out intracellular digestion. So they bring about intracellular digestion, that is digestion inside the cells. Digestion of food occur inside the cells. Already I told you their entire physiology, that is respiration, circulation and excretion, it is entirely dependent upon water current. Water current which enters the body through ostia, it brings about nutrients, gases along with it, that is oxygen, and when this water comes in contact with every cell of the body, there occur exchange of materials. Cells release waste in the water current and carbon dioxide, and this foul water then goes outside through osculum. So the entire physiology, the basic needs, they are dependent upon water current which is circulated through the canal system in the sponge body. Even reproduction is also dependent upon water current. Sponges exchange their sperms with the help of water current only. If I say regarding their sensory system, they have no well-defined sense organ, but they provide response to stimuli only at cellular level. There are no visible responses to stimuli which are seen in sponge body. Furthermore, if I elaborate further, then sponges reproduce sexually as well as asexually. Let me tell you, asexual reproduction occurs with the help of special internal buds, and these internal buds are called as gemmules. Gemmules are masses of buds and they mainly contain archaeocytes in them. They are normally formed under unfavorable conditions, and when favorable conditions are returned, these buds germinate and give rise to a new sponge body. Sponges also possess very good power of regeneration, and they are able to regenerate new sponges from the mass of cells. Then they also show sexual reproduction. Most of them, they are bisexual or hermaphrodite. It means they have both male and female sex organs present in same body. We also call them monoecious animals. Very interestingly, though they are bisexual, but they exchange their gametes, particularly sperms, and this result in cross fertilization. Sperms enter the sponge body and brings about internal fertilization, that is fertilization occur inside the sponge body. And because they are sedentary, so they need something which enable them to disperse. So they form a special larva in their life history, which is a flagellated larval form called as amphiblastula larva, and this larva brings about dispersal of sponges. So if I summarize the unique features of sponges, they have a system of pores, canals and chambers for circulation of water current that fulfill their basic requirements, that is nutrition, respiration and excretion. They have cellular level of body organization. They don't have mouth and digestive cavity. They have choanocytes which line either spongocoel or radial canal. Their flagella help in circulating water current. They show a special larval form in their life history called amphiblastula, which help in their dispersal. So these are features of phylum Porifera. I am going to discuss about classification, habitat, habits, morphology and histology of Scypha. So first of all, let's talk about classification of the animal. Already I told you this is a representative of phylum Porifera. So its phylum is Porifera. It's called Porifera due to the presence of dermal ostia or pores all over the body. Class is Calcarea due to the presence of calcareous spicules which are made up of calcium carbonate. Its order is Heterocoela due to the presence of various canals in its body, that is radial canals, excurrent and incurrent canals, and genus is Scypha, which was formerly known as Cycon. So before I go to the detailed idea, let's talk about common name of this animal. If I say regarding common names, it is commonly called as urn sponge due to its urn-like shape. We also call it crown sponge. as it bears a little crown just around the osculum, and this crown is formed due to the fringe of long and straight spicules that surround the osculum. That is why we are calling it either crown sponge due to a crown of spicules around the osculum, or urn sponge due to its urn-like shape. Now, what is the habitat of animal? Habitat regarding it is a marine sponge that is found only in seawater. It prefers to live in shallow waters, particularly those areas which have strong wave action, because it constantly renews water around it. I want to tell you this is a sessile animal, a sedentary animal, so it requires a strong wave action which clears water around it and that provide adequate supply of food as well as oxygen rich water to it. So it prefers to live in shallow water with generally strong wave action. Now, what are the habits of sponge? Habits of Scypha. Already I told you it's a sessile animal. Sessile means it is sedentary. It is attached to rocks or substrata at the bottom of sea. It can't move from one place to another. It's a branched and colonial sponge. It forms a colony. Due to sedentary habit, it is dependent upon water current. So it circulates water current with the help of canal system in its body. It feeds upon minute organisms and organic matter which are of course brought about by incoming water current through ostia. It has intracellular digestion inside the cells. It can reproduce sexually as well as asexually, and it produces a flagellated larva for its dispersal. It has very good power of regeneration also. So these are habits of this animal Scypha. Now what about form, size and color? Regarding form, it has a slender vase-like body which is slightly bulging in the middle. The individual body has a height of 20 to 25 millimeter and a diameter of 5 to 6 millimeter. Color varies from grey to light brown. So it has a vase-like body with the color of grey or light brown. Now, what about external characters? Already I told you it has a vase-like body. If we look its body under a hand lens, you will find that its body has polygonal elevations, and in between elevations there are present depressions or grooves. Those depressions or grooves, when observed carefully, they have groups of ostia on them. Already I told you ostia, they serve as pores for the inlet of water current. That is why we also call them incurrent pores, and due to presence of ostia or dermal ostia, the phylum is named as Porifera. At the distal end of vase-like body, there is present osculum, and that osculum is surrounded by oscular fringe, which is made up of upright needle-like spicules, and due to that fringe only we are calling it crown sponge. The entire body is covered by spicules and that provide bristly appearance to this animal. Spicules are meant for protection and they also provide skeleton to the sponge body. Regarding histology of Scypha, if I say the body wall of Scypha is made up of two layers because it is diploblastic. Now what is the meaning of diploblastic? Diploblastic means it has originated from two germ layers, outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. Due to the presence of two germ layers, it is said to be diploblastic animal. Already I told you, body wall has two layers, outer dermal layer, also called as pinacoderm, and inner choanocytic layer or choanoderm. In between two, there is a thin gel-like layer which we called as mesenchyme or mesohyl. So in total, there are three layers, outermost pinacoderm, innermost choanoderm, and in between layer is mesohyl or mesenchyme. The very first layer, if I say regarding pinecoderm, it is the outer layer and it is made up of flat polygonal cells. We call them pinecocytes. These pinecocytes, these are ectodermal in origin, and this layer basically cover the outer surface as well as line incurrent canals, excurrent canals as well as spongocoel found in sponge body. Pinacocytes also form special cells called as myocytes, which are contractile cells that surround a number of openings called ostia, osculum, as well as apopiles. Pinecoderm, which is made up of pinacocytes, also give rise to scleroblast, which when migrate to mesohyl give rise to different types of spicules. So this is the outer layer that we called as pinecoderm. Now the next layer, the inner layer, is choanoderm or choanocytic layer. Let me tell you, this layer is made up of single layer of flagellated cells called choanocytes or collar cells. And presence of choanocytes or collar cells is another characteristic feature of phylum Porifera. These cells are endodermal in origin, and basically this layer, it covers the radial canals of sponge. So if I say regarding detailed idea of choanocyte, I told you choanocytes are commonly called collar cells and it is characteristic feature of phylum Porifera. You can see its structure in the diagram. The cell is oval or round in shape. It has a long flagellum, and this flagellum is made up of microtubules with 9+2 arrangement. The flagella of choanocytes beat together and their beating enable the sponge to set up water current which is going to enter through the dermal ostia and then circulate all over the body with the help of these cells called choanocytes. Beside flagellum, it has a collar also, and this collar is made up by the fusion of 20 to 30 microvilli. Let me tell you, the microvilli are about 0.032 to 0.1 micron meter apart, and they are interconnected by a fiber-like material. So collar is made up of 20 to 30 microvilli which are interconnected by fiber-like material. In the cell, you can even see nucleus is there. Just around nuclei, it can be seen vacuoles, one or more vacuoles are there. And another important organelle, there is present centroblepharoplast which give rise to flagellum. Centroblepharoplast is a combination of centriole and blepharoplast, and you can see in the diagram it is connected to parabasal body present over the nucleus by a thread-like structure called rhizoplast. So centroblepharoplast is connected to parabasal body through rhizoplast. So choanocyte or collar cells, they are named so due to the presence of collar around them, and they are very important cells of this phylum. Now what functions they are performing? Already I told you they help in circulation of water current inside sponge body. Not only this, choanocytes are there to secrete mesohyl layer also. They help in ingestion as well as digestion of food, and very important, they also give rise to gametes. So these cells, I can say, these are multi-purpose cell which are found in sponge body, but their unique function is to circulate water current. So these cells, they are present on the inner side and they together make up choanoderm or choanocytic layer. Basically, they line up radial canals which help in circulation of water current. Now the next layer found in sponge body in between pinecoderm and choanoderm, there is present mesohyl. Mesohyl, if I say, it's a gel-like non-living layer made up of a transparent matrix, and this matrix contains a protein. It has proteinaceous nature. Very interestingly, mesohyl is also secreted by choanocytes. Already I told you in the function of choanocytes. And if I say the composition of this layer has collagen fibers, spicules, scleroblast, and a number of amoeboid cells called amoebocytes. So collagen fibers, they strengthen the matrix and they form network all over the matrix of mesohyl. Spicules will be discussing in the coming section. Spicules are needle-like structure which not only provide bristly appearance to sponge but they also form skeleton of sponge. They are meant for protection. As sponges are immotile, they can't move from one place to another. So they have a network, a skeleton of spicules which provide protection to them. Then scleroblasts and variety of amoeboid cells or amoebocytes are another characteristic feature of this layer called mesohyl. Now let's talk about scleroblast. As the name indicate, these are spicule forming cells. They give rise to spicules and they just migrate from pinacoderm. That means they are nothing but pinacocytes. They migrate from pinacoderm and they come to mesohyl to change into scleroblast. There are three types of scleroblast found in Scypha. One, they are chalcoblast, other silicoblast, and third spongioblast. Chalcoblast in Scypha give rise to calcareous spicules which are made up of calcium carbonate. In other sponges, silicoblasts are there which give rise to siliceous spicules. The spicules made up of silica. And in some other forms, scleroblast give rise to spongioblast which give rise to spongin fibers. So, scleroblast either form chalcoblast or it forms silicoblast or it form spongioblast that form different type of spicules or spongin fibers as upon requirement. Now let's talk about amoebocytes. If I say regarding amoebocytes, amoebocytes are irregular cells like amoeba and they have pseudopodia, and due to pseudopodia they can wander freely from one part of mesophile to another. Let me tell you, there are present different types of amoebocytes in sponge body which I have mentioned in this slide. They are collencytes, chromocytes, trophocytes, thesocytes, phagocytes, archaeocytes and gland cells, and they perform variety of functions. We can see these cells in the coming picture. Just you see picture of all these cells. The very first diagram is of pinacocyte shown over here, which are nothing but flat cells. Then they have shown collencyte. If I say regarding collencyte, collencytes are connective tissue cells. These cells are fixed and they give rise to branching processes which may form a network. These processes are there to anchor the cells, and these collencytes, they are there to secrete collagen fibers of matrix. So collencytes are connective tissue cells of matrix that secrete collagen fibers. Second type of cells, these are chromocytes. Chromocytes are the cells with blunt pseudopodia, and as the name indicate, chroma means color. They contain pigments and these pigment granules provide color to the sponge. Third one, trophocytes. We also call them nourishing cells. As the name indicate, they collect digested food and they distribute it all over the body. So their function is to digest and distribute the food. They also have blunt pseudopodia. Then comes thesocytes or storage cells. As the name indicate, they are meant for the storage of reserve food, basically in the form of glycogen or glycoprotein. Then phagocytes. These cells, as the name indicate, they engulf the foreign particles which enter the sponge body. Not only this, they also engulf excreta and damaged tissue. Then there comes archaeocytes or embryonic cells. These are very important cells. They also have blunt pseudopodia and these are totipotent cell. Totipotent means they are undifferentiated cells and they can divide and form any type of cell whenever it is required. So they give rise to gametes or change into other types of cells whenever it is required, particularly during regeneration of sponges. So regeneration of sponges is possible due to archaeocytes, which are persistent, undifferentiated and totipotent cells. Then comes gland cells. As the name indicate, they provide a secretion, and that secretion is given out through an extension, and this secretion help in the attachment of sponge to the substratum. So this was all about habitat, habits, morphology and histology of Scypha and Cycon. In my second lecture, that is Scypha part 2, I am going to explain general physiology, that is nutrition, respiration, excretion, along with reproduction and embryonic development of Cycon. So thank you very much everyone for listening my lecture, and I am highly grateful to Director General of Higher Education for providing me this opportunity for preparing e-content for undergraduate students. So thanks a lot everyone.